So I wanted to go check this out because I could not find it. Supposedly, I missed the card in the morgue. So this blood effect's different. It's weird, like, they're not all filling up. Some of them are just actually, like, moving around. So which one is it? So I just gotta explore around until I find that again, unfortunately. Because the rooms themselves aren't labeled. So now I want it. I think I want to go the other way. God, that sound effect, that's new. Otherwise, like, nothing else changed. It's that same blood effect in that one room when I was around. It's like, I thought for sure there must have been some update to that, but I couldn't see anything. And then, so I was just like, I'm just going to look this up because I'm, like, right at the end of this, and I don't want to, like, keep recording because I have, like, 1 hour. But, yeah, like, this is the downside. Like, generally speaking, I've been pretty good about finding everything, but, yep, there it is. Got quiet. Too quiet. So it's just, I missed it. And that's the thing, is like, if I hadn't looked it up, I would have just been missing it the whole time. And basically, I was just kind of glancing through for location, like, okay, yep, I'm definitely missing it. I should have had it at this point. That's all I tried to do. But that just sucks. The main thing that bugs me is just the fact that if I didn't use the guide whatsoever to look that up, I would have been here for like an hour. Just because you'd have to literally go through every room again, and they made some of these rooms like really lethal. And so I need to get back to Alessa's room, which is the only door unopened. Okay. So, which means I have to go back through this annoying area here. So let me count. It's the last... Oh, take a left. So, looked up nothing past that. Don't actually know how to solve the puzzle, so that's going to be included in this as well. And that means I have to solve the puzzle on the timer as well. I guess I could have swapped my card. I also filmed the podcast I'll run tonight. So they're all pretty full, but I think I could squeeze it in if I absolutely needed to. And I definitely want to finish this tonight, because one of the things I wanted to commit to is Silent Hill, and just in general with these Let's Plays, is playing more and longer to get into this. Yeah, perfect. Because even if it's more efficient for me to play this in, like, short bursts, it kills the mood of the game if I was 10 minutes from the end and I just start playing the end of Silent Hill 3 at, like, 3 o'clock on a Tuesday. Does she not care about the moths? Can I make a guess? I think this moth that got out was the boss in 1. Because it has that red texture, right? Assuming it's the same one. I don't know. Maybe even if whether or not that's true or not, probably doesn't matter. I just like the idea that it is. So okay, let's look at this. Do I have paper? Oh. All I got is really tiny Post-its, because I took my notebook to work. And I'm hoping I didn't write anything weird in that, and someone looks at it and like, what's this dude talking about? Like, gods and, like, god numbers and people dying? It's like, well, it's Silent Hill, but they don't know that. It's all out of context. So I hope that's not a thing. Let's see. 5 magic cards. I already know that no 3 should go in 1 row. But there's not half it there. It'd be too hard to fit. So it's something that's be like upside down man under the ground. So upside down man, I think that's hanging man, the one I got from the morgue. Man, so hanging man is 1. The for sure bot. It says he's under the ground. Because when I read this before, I think it's obvious that the moon's gonna be up in the top. There's someone looking at the moon, the fool or something, and then I guess the ground is underneath that. So he's on the bottom center, because no one to his right, to his left. So there's 2 on the next rows. Yeah, oh, I guess they even called that leave him alone though. The moon is above the sky, full or crescent floating high. So moon is definitely top. Don't know which one. Twinkling light like a crown on the head of a crazy clown. Top over the fool. Your Excellency, the Queen, was it Queen or High Priestess? Praying to God Most High. So, Priest, mid row. Priest and the Fool. Do you think you can tell me why you always look up at the night sky? Does that mean she's not under the moon? Because she's looking at the sky, not the moon? Do you have it now? Didn't forget one major point you must not omit. And now at the last, before you take a whack, here's one more hint to help keep you on track. Scary and hateful, that thing in the night, the eye. Better be careful, it's not on your right. Turn to the left and you'll keep it in sight. So I guess the eye, the moon is in the center top, the eye is in the left top. That's just, yeah, I got that. Okay. So let me just fill out what I know. So, I was going to be like that other one. The coin puzzle where you have to put them like all in individually. Oh, there we go. Eye of Night tarot card. So I think this is here. Like this. Moon. So this is way better actually then. Moon, top over Fool. Hanging Man. And she stares at the night sky, so I think it's here. No. So my first guess with this would then be here. No, so then it could be this. Because it's got to go over the Fool. Yeah, there we go. So that was, I don't think you can actually get an exact solution. I think you just get a couple that are like really close and then you just go. Like, I don't think it ever actually told you where the moon was, just that it's above the Fool. I like the idea that the Queen was looking at the blank sky. That would have given me more interesting things. And maybe when they said the hangman was alone, it meant that no one was in his row or his column. I think maybe that might have been more of what they were getting at. So that's going to be a save, just because I don't want to deal with this. More importantly, one thing that occurred to me while I was waiting for my thing to export is I'm going to come down here to 5 and make a save. Because I didn't see the exact dates, but I'm pretty sure I long ago stopped saving in alternate slots and just only put it in the top one. Bring it. Hold on, is this the hallway from the manor just reskinned? Ooh, God, that's creepy. That's prime creepiness. They haven't had as big of a fan motif as they did in 2, or in the movie. It was a big deal in the movie. That slow chopping of a fan.
What do I want? Well, for the two of you to die, that'd be nice. Then I could relax.
When did you stop believing in God? God lives. Just look around you.
Oh, but I do believe in her. In my own way. I fear her, and I adore her. But I haven't lost my mind like you. You think that this is the work of God? Isn't this all nothing more than your own personal nightmare? Just like Alessa 17 years ago? If this really is the work of God, then I'd say she has terrible taste.
You mock God. Traitor. You will go to hell.
Not that again! Who do you think you are, claiming to know God's will?
Go home, Vincent.
Home? This church is my home. I built it with my power. The power of money that you view with such scorn. Although, I admit that this atrocious scenery is all yours.
If you continue to get in my way...
Then you'll kill me? Well, the guest of honor has arrived. Let's get this party started. Heather, go ahead and kill this crazy bitch. This demon who claims to speak for God. The time has come. You can kill her now.
You'll go to hell!
What did you do?
Oh, nothing important.
You're not going to run? I guess this is the end.
No, the beginning. As Vincent said, the time has come. Alessa, I am saddened that you didn't agree to do this on your own. But I thank you for nurturing God with all the hate in your heart. It's time for mankind to be released from the shackles of sin which bind them.
But a god born from hatred can never create a perfect paradise.
Happy people can be so cruel. Is it so hard to believe that sympathy could be born out of pain and suffering? Why do you reject God's mercy? Why do you cling to this corrupt world? You know that only God can save us.
And save you too? A happy ending? I'd rather go to hell.
No. I don't expect to be saved. And that's fine. Alessa, my dearest. For the pain that I've caused you, I deserve no mercy. Even if it was to save mankind, it was too deep a sin. It was hubris for me to try to hasten the day of her arrival. Sacrifices were made, and those are my sins.
If you feel so guilty about it, why don't you go to hell? Heather, use the seal!
Vincent! The seal of Metatron!
Now your stupid dream is over!
Oh, that's just a piece of junk. What do you think you can do with that? Do you really think it can kill God? I'm sorry to see you fell for my father's foolishness.
What?
You're pathetic. But God loves even you. No, Alessa. There's nowhere else to run. Just accept Rest it, Alessa. The pain will disappear. I've been waiting so long for this. Even as a child, I knew I would see the coming of this day. I knew I would be witness to it. Judgment Day! Alessa!
Shut your mouth, you stinking bitch!
Okay. Bye. I assume I have to go up to her start the boss fight. Why? Is this a different version of the chapel? I assume I'm like below it. You gonna fight me? Claudia. Vincent's dead. I think... Yeah, I guess I'm supposed to run up and hit her. Oh. Can I just... There's a hole in the floor. I don't care about that right now. I didn't think this would work. I don't think it worked. Yeah, I think that's glitched. I can't do anything. I think I'm supposed to be fighting Claudia and it didn't load. And I do use the pendant there, but I can't actually do it yet, so I think the game just soft locks. So I'm gonna reset my 360. So I'll be right back after do the whole resync on it.
What are you doing?
Dad.
She's nearly here. What is it? Alessa, what have you done? What did you swallow? What is this?
Looks like God didn't make it.
God is...
Claudia!
Alessa, you cannot kill God. I will birth God. If you can't do it, Alessa, I will.
Claudia! Claudia! You can't be dead. I was gonna kill you. This is God?
Well, so I'm gonna get to this, so if it wasn't clear and I didn't mention it, this game has crashed like 6 times on me on this part. So we're gonna speedrun this. This boss actually really lame, so I gotta knock it down and then I'm gonna swap weapons to the katana and I'm just gonna keep slashing it. It attacks me sometimes, but I don't really know. I'll try to put some extra footage after if I can, but it kept crashing and messing up the capture. So I should be clean now, and I think I'm good. And I still have my original review kind of the credits after the game, and I'll be adding those on, even though this is actually after. So if you don't do this, it kept going up, back up into the wall, and I think what it was is I was hitting it with a shotgun. Oh, I need to heal, probably. Yeah, I was hitting it with a shotgun, and then the maul, and I wasn't getting those blood splatters, so I don't think I was actually hurting it. I think you can't hit it on the top of the head. I think you have to do it here. But other than that, it sucks pretty much just as much as every boss in this game. So it goes up there. To my knowledge, it doesn't do anything but this. You need a gun to get it down. If it's anything like the other Silent Hill bosses, you can probably also just survive long enough and it will fall down. Because there's, fun fact, in most, I believe, bosses in Silent Hill, in case you don't have ammo, just so you don't soft lock, if you can last long enough, it'll just die. And it's not ideal, it's like 5 minutes. But it is possible to just run away. I know that's at least the thing with the boss for Silent Hill 1. So we're just gonna sit here and we're just gonna whack it. If it goes up, we shoot it again. That's it. I'm really annoyed that the capture didn't work. God, I'm hitting. So this is annoying because I also don't know how much damage it does. So we'll be back and we're going to kick this. It should not make me do the turret puzzle again. I think if I die, it pops me out of the cutscene. Yeah. It's just a really clunky boss fight, and it just tests your patience in how many swings do you want to get in. That's it. And I use a shotgun. You can use, I assume, the pistol. This knocks it down pretty easily. The only downside is you have to swap, and that's pretty much as fast as you can swap. It's what the game is, unfortunately. I think I can take 3 hits. And then every time I use an ampule, it fully heals me. I wish I had more to say. I had so much to say my first time, and I still might throw some of my comments up there if I fade it in, just so you can kind of see what I actually thought. But it was just this and me being confused because it gives you very little feedback. And there's ideas, like I can do that stab, or like I try going to the side. It doesn't seem to matter. It seems to be like you get your best damage if you just go up and stab it. I'm not even sure that this does more damage. I just know that you get some reach. I'll probably actually be better off with, yeah, I think I can use one. I'll go with a stationary one. Yeah. Honestly, this was a really weak ending. I thought the cutscene was good, but this boss, look, it looks so cool. I don't know why it looks this way. I think the idea is that its body itself is forming still. So this isn't like final God. This is like God. It's born, but it's not like full. Although I gotta say the graphics look way better than the Silent Hill 1 version of it. And this Silent Hill 2 boss, I mean, didn't look amazing in design. Like, it's not the same kind of like awesome, crazy boss that I was hoping for. Whereas Silent Hill 3, at least visually, the bosses look cool. Like the worm, cool. Yeah, was it? I now know the memory of Alyssa. You fight yourself. That was a cool fight in a cool area. So it's just gonna eventually end. Just ends. Yeah, kind of a mediocre way to end kind of a mediocre game. I'm just gonna leave it there. Good, really, really high points. Really, really low points.
Is that the end? I guess it's time to roll the credits.
Is it really over?
Not yet. You're still alive.
Heather, what are you...
Boo! Just a joke.
You got a terrible taste.
I'm sorry.
Heather, did you...
You don't have to call me that. I'm not hiding anymore.
You want me to use your real name? What was it again?
Cheryl. The name my father gave me.
You gonna let your hair color go back too?
I don't know. Don't you think blondes have more fun?
I have things to say. So I don't really follow what happened there. That really surprised me when she coughed it out. Like, oh, okay, I get that. I was honestly taken aback when Claudia swallows. I was like, okay. And the boss looked cool, and then it was just like I didn't think I was damaging it, and I'm still not sure if I was until I actually pulled out the sword. I don't know what that boss fight was supposed to be. I don't know what any of the bosses in this game are supposed to be. I think the best boss is probably the dude with the chainsaw after he killed your father. I think that's the best boss in the game, honestly. But I just have questions, and maybe there's alternate endings in this game. Like, I just don't know. Why'd the game freeze? Was that an option that couldn't have been loaded? Is there another one? Like, what was the point of telling, I assume, Claudia if you forgive her or not? What was the point of that? I'm surprised the detective lived, but I guess there's no reason for him to die. So she's going to go back to being Cheryl. I think that's a cool way to say, like, yeah, she accepts her fate, but she's going to still be her own person. If overall, I'm going to be honest, I didn't like it as much as 2 or even as much as 1. I think it had a really slow and not very good start, and maybe that was just me getting back into the rhythm of Silent Hill. I felt the mall was okay, and then the subway and the sewers and the underpass and were just meh. And then the apartment / hillside part business thing, the business building, it was okay. It was just a little whatever. And then it got really good after that 20-minute cutscene and just info dump. And the hospital was pretty good. I'm really curious to look a bunch of stuff up now that I missed. There's probably just various little reading things that I would have known more about the world from. I think the biggest thing that disappointed me was just the lack of a good opening to the game and the bosses. I just feel like when I was going back and editing this, and I'm sure I'll see even more, that I just started listening, oh, this is going to happen. And then when I edit it, I'm like, man, I really wish that thing did happen, because it's kind of boring. And that's how I feel like a lot of this game went. I still don't know, Vincent shows up 3 times and then dies. That really doesn't give me much of a sense of he had a purpose. Or just what was that thing? I died that one time in the amusement park, and there something came up and dragged me, and it wasn't the dudes with the chainsaw or the smaller versions later on. What was that character? Or that monster? It wasn't a monster I fought or a boss. I kept expecting oh, it's going to come up again. But what was that? Why? I don't understand. I don't understand. And again, maybe there's multiple endings. This doesn't strike me as a game that would have multiple endings, because in the other ones, it was a little bit easier to branch out in the town. But I don't know what you would do in this one unless it's something do some really outrageous thing for a silly ending. And it's just a joke cutscene, and that's all it is. That's what I would think these endings would be. And then maybe a good ending and a bad ending that I probably based off whether or not you forgive Claudia or something. Yeah, I don't know. I would definitely probably rate 2, 1, 3 as my favorites. I haven't played anything past that. I could probably talk about this for a while, but yeah, honestly, I think in a weird way, what this reminds me of a little bit is Skyrim. The way I describe that is that there's a lot of really good things in it, and then there's just a lot of filler that I just don't care about, and it's kind of rough around the edges. And in regards to this game, just there's a lot of really cool moments. That bathroom scene in the hospital, cool moment. That boss looked cool, cool moment. There's some neat scares that really got me, really badly. When I was running back in this final dungeon, I was just no. That was a great moment for me personally as a player. But then there's just all this stuff in between that's just why? The first 3 chapters, why? Is there going to be a button scene after this? Okay. Action levels, normal results, clear time, 7 hours, 38 minutes. See. Okay, you can see Leonard, memory of Alessa, kill time, that's the final. What was the memory of Alessa? Oh, was Memory of Alessa? That was the clone of you. It must have been. Okay. And then the God Kill time. Yeah. Item number. Defeat enemy by shooting. Total damage. Okay. So I know they do these results, and I don't think I'm going to be playing through the game much more because I honestly found it kind of clunky. And I would just rather watch the scenes on YouTube. Like, I'm not particularly about to try speedrunning this game. There's just so much I would like to know from a perspective of, like, the combat, how I could do better, but I don't think I really missed that much. Or it's stuff like how I could have missed the stun gun. Or I probably missed some SMG bullets somewhere, unless there's literally only one magazine in the game. I just didn't understand a lot of the story in the game. And that's the thing. It's like, I'm okay at not understanding the story. I like it being mysterious. But the game was just like... Again, watching myself edit this, just seeing my own reactions to stuff, just like, I'm excited for something scary to happen. Like, throw back to the mall where I'm like, oh, this hall, someone's going to burst out the door. It's going to chase me down. It's going to be all exciting. Nah, nothing. There's no point of that hallway. There's no point of a lot of rooms or hallways in the game. It's just filler, or just the puzzles. Like, I hated that I missed the map, and that's kind of on me. But then I feel like I get burned the opposite way, where I was running. I think I actually probably cut some of this if you're watching. Like, when I was running around the opening of the amusement park for a while, because I'm like, I don't want to miss the map again. And then it's like, well, this one doesn't have a map. We gotcha. And I guess you could throw that up to like just getting better at the game. But I thought that was kind of just it. Maybe it makes the game better overall, but it hurt my experience of it. And then same with running around stuff like the sewers without the map. That really sucked a lot. And just like I think anytime I saw me cut, and obviously you can't tell if I cut always, that was essentially time I was not having fun with the game. So stuff like when I had to go look up that last card to get the Hangman card, that sucks because I don't want to run around the game. Like, honestly, I keep the monsters alive, not because I particularly want to conserve ammo or anything, but because if I kill them, one, I can. They're not that bad. Two, or it's like two, it is bad. It's really annoying. I take a lot of damage using my health. But the biggest thing is if I killed monsters, so many of these areas just turn to me running around, not finding anything. And there was sections in the game where every monster in the relevant area was dead, and I'm just running around inspecting every little thing. So you look at the amusement park at the end when I couldn't find the chain. That sucked. And it wasn't like, oh, I could be better if I could dodge these monsters better or something, or if I was better I could kill them so I could find the item easier. But no, it was just me wandering around for 20 minutes in different rooms, keep going back and forth. Yeah, and I regret almost like playing this in the port. The Silent Hill 2 port was pretty good. Honestly, I didn't have any glitches like this. At least I didn't notice them. And then in this one, it became very apparent early on that the sound had issues. And that last run where everything glitched out, that was just weird. And I'm wondering if there was something else that might have glitched. Like if there was some cutscene that didn't play that I didn't see. Because I did say, I always feel that I'm just one cutscene behind on a Silent Hill game. Like, I feel like I missed the cutscene where she accepted being Alessa. And I guess that acceptance was when you killed Memory of Alessa. Or I just always feel like it's very rare that any of the characters in these games talk about the monsters, even though I feel like they talk about it all the time. I think they talk about it a lot in 1. But I think the benefit of 1 is that they're all characters that aren't involved in the story. So, like, you have the nurse who was just kind of around, but she's not Alessa, she's not Claudia. She's just like a kind of technically a bystander, even though she's been there a while. Same with the detective, same with Harry. I just don't know. I just feel like they should say more. Or like they should react. Even if like Heather actually like said stuff. Like I guess she respawns stuff in text when you examine things, but that's all over the place what you can examine. It seems like if you are going to go the route of letting you examine non-important things, you have to really get all of them. Puzzles were fine. I really enjoyed the puzzle in the hospital where I actually had to break out a notebook and solve it. Everything else, honestly, was pretty easy. That last puzzle with the tarot cards, I did it on like this tiny little post-it. And basically every other puzzle in the game, I kind of despise the design of, just because it's a matter of get all the pieces. And if you can't solve the puzzle, it doesn't mean you're dumb. It doesn't mean you're doing something wrong. It means you lack a piece. That's basically it. And once you have the pieces, it usually just falls into place. And then you can go up a rank and go to the hard stuff, but then that's fine. But then I do know, I think it starts going outside of the game's scope. So you have to go, like, potentially, like, actually look up tarot cards or something. I don't know. Which is fine, but I feel like that's a bit too much, and that's not what I'm looking for. Having well-defined pieces and then having to figure out how they go together, I think, is what symbolizes a very good puzzle in a game. And that, I'll admit, is very hard to do. But just if you leave it open, then you just overcomplicate things, because then anything could be a piece, and that doesn't work. But obviously not complicating at all, and just having essentially your puzzle be 2 to 3 keys, that's not a very fun design either. Like, a lot of this I felt was just running around. Like, a lot of I felt I was just crossing off stuff on the map, and I hoped but that by the time I crossed out all the doors, I had all the things. 'Cause otherwise, the game just gives you nothing. But yeah, looking at this now, I don't even know. Was everything before going to Silent Hill, was that even a third? It might have been even more. Like, I don't know, maybe not half, but there's a big chunk of this game I would just have ditched. Like, honestly, I think you could have probably made the mall level 1, then just take the subway home. Oh no, Fat Claudia chick you saw at the mall, she killed your dad. Go to Silent Hill, and that's the second level. That's what I would have done. So, even just looking at these bosses, I guess they didn't count, like, all the puzzle bosses. But yeah, there's so much that was like, oh cool, I'll get to go, like, say the words, and they'll, like, do a cool cutscene. Nah, the apartment boss thing just died 1 hit after you said the spell. Off screen, of course. No even cool cutscene. It's just, like, so much kind of disappointing me in this game. I don't like rating games, like, on a scale of 1 out of 10, because mainly because I don't have a good scale for it. Like, I don't have the idea of this is a 10, this is a 5. I'll be honest, I like, having coming off, like, White Knight before this, I liked White Knight more. I liked 2 a lot more. And 2 was dated and didn't have a ton of things that are perfect, per se, but I don't know. I want your opinion. Was this the first sign that Silent Hill was going downhill? 1 was solid. I think 2 really nailed and improved it. And then they brought back this with 3. I think that might have been the case if it's starting to go downhill. I believe 3 and 4 were developed at the same time. So I don't know if I can count that, because 4 was meant to be really experimental. And I know that one was kind of meant to be a little weird, that you're staying in one spot in the room and you keep venturing back to this home base, and then you go into whatever world and come back. I might actually want to play that one. But past that, it doesn't get into, like, Shattered Memories and Homecoming and then all that. I don't know. It's like, it's so hard for me to place this, because overall, a lot of the game, not good. I didn't enjoy it. But then there's these moments that had, like, really great vision. Like the cutscene before the final boss where she eats the thing. That was good. That was very classic Silent Hill. The entering the bathroom and there's that scene in the hospital. Very classic Silent Hill. Awesome. And then there was just a whole lot of shit in between there that I didn't care for. Or just, like, I loved hearing about the mythology of the world. That was awesome. So that cutscene where they explained everything, and I got the recap of the first game. So cool. And then you go in the town, and then guess what? Town didn't mean anything. Let me think. Let me phrase this. You are at the hotel. You run down the street to the hospital. You run back to the hotel. You run up an unpopulated street, Nathan Street, and then it fast travels you to the amusement park. That was the town. Why? Why even have the amusement park? I feel like if I'm going to be honest, what I think this game is I think they designed all the dungeons and parts of the story, and then they had to kind of weirdly fit them together, where it's like, oh, we designed this awesome subway dungeon. What did you write the story for? Oh, we didn't write any story for this subway. What are you talking about? That we're just going to skip over that. It's like, oh, well, we got to include it, so, okay. Same with the sewer. Why was it there? I think it was there because they had ideas for bosses and enemies, so they kept it in. Why was the amusement park important to go through? Probably really wasn't, other than they just needed somewhere to stick the Memory of a Lesser Fight. Again, assuming that's the name. And they probably had the fun idea for the puzzles. I don't think it needed to be in there. I think, honestly, if this game had to be done, I think if they came back and chopped a ton of stuff out and just cut it down the game would be better for my first playthrough, but it's fine for it is. I think if I got this on PS1 again, like I say this a lot, that just because I didn't necessarily care for this in my first run through, I also have to recognize this was made for a time when you don't have that many games. Particularly, so stuff like these ranking systems that are up right now, this would be something that would give you a little more fun in looking at the depth of the combat. I think that's something a lot of people like, is all these terrifying monsters you fight in the game, doing these ratings to overcome not only them, but overcome like your fear. Like, you've mastered this thing that you were so terrified of, like those giant lumbering things with the swinging arms. Eventually, when you can kill them with a switchblade every single time, it's a feeling of empowering. And that's something that I obviously don't do, because I don't plan on playing 60 hours of Silent Hill 3. But I could see how that could be something that could add a little more value to the game past this, as well as just alternate endings, trying to explore. I think, honestly, it wouldn't be hard to explore at all. You could probably find everything in the game. I know it has a bunch of options for New Game Plus, I think, in terms of outfits and some maybe optional overpowered weapons. It was interesting. I'm definitely might keep an eye out for Silent Hill 4 and see how it goes. I'm really curious. The main thing I'm going to do is I'll have to export all this footage, and while that's happening, I am just going to hit the Silent Hill 3 wiki so hard and just see, like, what did I miss, what happened. I'm going to hit some reviews to see what other people thought. Please let me know what you thought of this Let's Play, if you liked certain things that I did, if you didn't. Let me know what you thought of Silent Hill 3, because right now, little fact, I do these as a way to set aside time for me to play interesting games, so I don't really actually have anyone to talk about any of my experiences with this, and that's why I'm always so curious. Like, I only have my one experience to go off of. For all I know, there's plenty of times that where maybe the subway was amazing if you found the map right away. You know, like, in theory, there were clues to go to the right spots. I just happened to go literally the worst possible way, and maybe someone else loved that, but I won't know because I only have my one experience. I only have one blind playthrough. I probably would not recommend this game. I would probably do that same order I said before. If you're new, play 2. It's not canon to 1 or 3, it's the best one. If you like that, play 1. And if you really like that, play 3. And then maybe play 4. And then past that, I don't even know what it is. I don't even know. I think I've seen a playthrough of Shattered Memories, the ice-themed one, but it didn't stick with me whatsoever. I will say, honestly, if I had to say, probably the best order is 2, 1, go watch the movie, play 3 if you really are into it or something. Honestly, that's got to be my only way to say it. But this has been fun. I really also do these Let's Plays just kind of for the experience, and it definitely was an experience. I have to give it that. I know horror games aren't always fun, but I wasn't ever literally bored. I was agitated. I was annoyed. But I was never at a point where I'm like, this is so bad, I'm not going to finish this game. So, it's got that going for it. So, thanks for watching, and hopefully the next one will be just a little bit scarier.